Hello, my name is Lisa Shea, and these instructions are for folding money origami fish. You need $2 bills or 2 pieces of paper for doing this fish. You're going to be weaving these $2 bills or pieces of paper together. This is actually palm frond kind of art that people often do with palm fronds or other ribbons or things that they can weave. So in this case, although you can normally do it with money, I'm going to do it with pieces of paper so that it's easier to see how the 2 different pieces fold. This is what we're going to be making. We're going to be making 2 mini folded over strips, and then we're going to be weaving those strips together. So we're aiming for these 2 strips as our first step. So we're going to start with one of our pieces of paper. We're going to fold it in half lengthwise. You want to use sharp creases for all of these because we're going to need this ending strip to be as flat as possible. So we're going to fold each of the long sides into the center line. So we did one side, and now we're going to do the second side. And then once again we're going to fold each of the long sides into the center line. So we're doubling up the fold that we just did. So we did the top side, and now we're doing the bottom side. And then we fold the whole thing in half. So the only purpose here is to make a long thin strip that we can then start to weave. So you can see that this is the strip here, which then becomes the strips that we fold the fish out of. So that's one of the 2 bills or pieces of paper. Now we do the same thing here. We fold it in half lengthwise and give it a nice sharp crease. We open that up. We're going to fold each of the 2 sides into that center line and give it a good crease. So we fold the other side in to the center point. Then we're going to fold each of the new sides in to the center line and give it a good crease. And then once we get these 2 sides in, we're going to fold the whole thing in half and then squish it as hard as we can so that it stays put while we do our weaving process. Alright, so we've got 2 pieces of paper. And again, I suggest you use different colors because it's easier to follow along when you're doing the beginning. So what we're going to do is we're going to fold them each over about 1/3 of the way. It doesn't matter exactly because you're going to be wiggling this thing around to make it look right once we're done anyway, but about 1/3. And then you fold the other one over. And we're going to want to put them together the way that you see here. In my case, the green one with the short leg going on top, and then the purple one with the short leg going in the back. So whatever colors you've used, or you can label them with A's and B's or 1s and 2s or however you want to do it. But the idea is that the short leg is on top, and then the other one's short leg is on the back. So point it at you so it's like a letter L. And here's the fish, and you can see how it's going to end up being in that general shape. So we've got purple going up, green going sideways. So now we're going to start the weaving. You take the purple one, or whatever one's pointing up, and you wrap it all the way around in a circle in a big loop. So here, I'll undo it again so you can see us again. You wrap it underneath, around, and up in front. And just hold it there loosely. You don't want to hold it tight. I realize this will be a little tricky because my fingers are going to get in the way to try to hold everything flush, but I will try to demonstrate for you what's going on. So the purple one was pretty easy. It just looped all the way around. Now we're going to take the green one, the long green one, the one that's going out sideways. We're going to fold it over the top of the first purple thing and through the middle of the second purple thing, and then over the last little tail piece that you had. So it's going over and through and over, and then just sort of wiggle it to pull it through. So you see here how it's formed like a little basket weave. So one of them went around, and then the other one went over and through, and then over out again. So you can see how that's forming the fish there. So we're going to turn our model fish over, and we're going to turn the thing in our hands over. Now see, you've got the purple pointing up and then this long green thing pointing sideways. We're going to take whatever one's pointing sideways, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go over and through. So this is where we might have to wiggle it a little. So over and through and out the other side. And now you have, in essence, finished your fish. But now what you're going to want to do is, because you were doing things loosely before, is start wiggling all of the strands. So I'm just explaining again that it went over and through to make the fish. So we're going to turn it back over to its front, although it doesn't really have a front and a back. It's all pretty symmetrical. So now we're just going to start wiggling the pieces of paper or the pieces of the dollar bill around to try to tighten up the weaves a little bit so everything stays together. Our aim is to have a long pair of front fins and a shorter pair of back fins. So you just sort of wiggle it a little and tug on it a little and squish it a little. And of course, the longer that you spend on this process, the more you can get it looking exactly the way that you want it to look. But usually it doesn't take too long before you get it into a general fish-like shape. So you can just pull and twist. And of course, since you can use whatever colors you want, if you use paper, you can make this in your favorite theme colors, or you can make ornaments for a Christmas tree, decorations for your wall. You can make a whole school of fish. Once you get them generally in the shape that you want, you can even curve the ends of the fins a little bit, giving them a little bit more of a finny shape. So here I'm giving the fins a little bit of a squishing so that they look a little more diagonal. And there you have the finished fish. You can visit lisashea.com for more origami information, and I hope you have a wonderful day.